United States, upcoming releases June 2024, order by film genre. Let's start with the action movies. Since its beginning in 1995, under the direction of Michael Bay, the Bad Boys franchise has been a benchmark of the buddy movie genre and was further consolidated with its 2003 sequel. In 2020, Bad Boys for Life was directed by Adil Arbi and Bilall Fallah, but despite the change of director, the saga preserved the essence of the original. Now, the directors are back with the fourth film, Bad Boys, Ride or Die. Mike Lowry, Will Smith, and Marcus Burnett, Martin Lawrence, have always been a peculiar duo who fight the criminals of the drug world in the city of Miami. But this time, they won't be playing the role of cops. When Captain Conrad Howard calls them to his rescue, their actions are misinterpreted, making them the target of a police manhunt.
City, city, bang, bang, mother...
The universe of A Quiet Place presents a new chapter, which takes us back to the beginning of everything. Released in 2018 and directed by John Krasinski, who also stars alongside his wife, Emily Blunt, the first film was an absolute success, so in 2020 came the sequel, with Blunt at the lead, with the addition of Cillian Murphy. Now the prequel hits the cinemas with the return of Djimon Hounsou reprising his role from A Quiet Place 2 alongside Lupita Nyong'o, Joseph Quinn and Alex Wolff. This time, the story will follow a group of survivors trying to understand what is happening, how to avoid being killed by the powerful and lethal creatures that appeared out of nowhere, and how to go on with their lives without being able to make a sound. Directed by Michael Sarnoski, this is his second feature film after Peak.
I have a plan.
After a charismatic college student lies his way into a job at an insurance giant, he recruits his two best friends in a conspiracy to steal thousands of dollars. In the process, they uncover a much darker plan that tests the limits of their greed. Midas is T.J. Noel Sullivan's first feature film, and as independent as it is, with only a month to go before its release, there is still no trailer, so we can only showcase his previous work, with Laquan Copeland, Preet Kaur, Federico Parra, and Lucy Powers.
Wait a minute. There.
Really?
I thought I fixed it.
Hannah is a professional player who suffers from acute agoraphobia. When she receives new equipment that improves her game, she begins to wonder if the game is reading her mind
How did you get in?
We've always been here.
or controlling her. You could call it a sci-fi thriller with some scary moments, or a horror film based on artificial intelligence. Starring Sasha Lass and Alexis Wren.
Walk out.
Latency marks the feature film debut of James Croke, its writer and director. Now, within the horror genre, we meet Safan, an 11-year-old girl who begins to experience physical changes in her body as she goes through puberty. Tiger Stripes is a 2023 Malayan language body horror film written and directed by Amanda Nell in her debut as a director. It is an international co-production of 8 countries, including Malaysia, which had its world premiere at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival, where it won the Critics' Week Grand Prix and was selected as the Malaysian entry for Best International Feature Film at the 96 Academy Awards. The Exorcism follows Anthony Miller, a troubled actor who begins to fall apart during the filming of a supernatural horror movie. His daughter Lee wonders if he is returning to his past addictions or if there is something more sinister going on. And from what we can see, there is indeed something more sinister going on. This is Joshua John Miller's second film, the first, The Mao Game, from 1999. Best known as an actor in the 90s, in films like Class of 1999 and You Thought Your Parents Were Weird, with Russell Crowe, who continues with horror films after starring in The Pope's Exorcist in 2023 and Sleeping Dogs this year. Ryan Simpkins, meanwhile, starred in all 3 parts of Netflix's Fear Street trilogy, as well as several horror films including Twixt, Hangman, and Anguish. Sam Worthington and Chloe Bailey complete the main cast.
I'm going out tonight. Try not to die.
The Watchers tells the story of Mina, a 28-year-old artist stuck in a vast, untouched forest in the west of Ireland.
Where's the car?
You have 5 seconds before the door is sealed. 5, 4, 3, 2.
When Mina finds refuge, she's unknowingly trapped with 3 strangers who are watched and stalked by mysterious and unsettling creatures every night. The Watchers, starring Dakota Fanning and Georgina Campbell, is not only based on the gothic survival horror novel of the same name written by A.M. Shine and produced by M. Night Shyamalan, but is also written and directed by Ishana Night Shyamalan, his daughter. While this will be her first film, the young woman previously wrote and directed several episodes of Servant and was also second unit director of her father's last 2 films, Old and Knock at the Cabin.
Should we talk about your dad today?
Wild-Eyed and Wicked follows Lily Pierce as she attempts to confront a medieval creature that has tormented her family for generations. To do so, she needs to reconnect with her father, Gregory, a disgraced history professor. The premise is promising, exploring deep themes of trauma and family reconciliation with a fantastical twist. A film for fans of Renaissance fairy tales and those who appreciate indie horror with a touch of fantasy. This is Gordon Shoemaker Foxwood's debut film as director and writer after 3 short films, starring Molly Kunz as Lily, Stephanie Estes, and Michael X. Summers.
This is Joy, coming to you live in Riley's mind.
Inside Out 2 returns to the mind of Riley at a critical moment in her life, her transformation into a teenager. Under the direction of Kelsey Mann, first feature film after 2 experiences in the animation department and 1 as director of a short film in the Monsters University world, the already familiar Joy, Amy Poehler, Anger, Louis Black, Sadness, Phyllis Smith, Fear, Tony Hale, and Disgust, Liza Lapira, are joined by 4 new emotions intended to shake up Riley's inner world. Anxiety, Maya Hawke, is a whirlwind of worry, always on the lookout for possible negative outcomes.
We wanted to make such a good first impression.
What do you mean, we? I'm Envy.
Envy, Aida Debiri, always longing for what others have, unafraid to express her discontent. Ennui, Adela Xarxopoulos, with its characteristic indifference and boredom.
That's embarrassment.
And Embarrassment, Paul Walter Hauser, tries to keep a low profile, although his presence is clearly noticeable with his permanently flushed cheeks. The point is that the new emotions come with a
More
plan
sophisticated emotions than all
to
of you.
replace the old ones to take charge of the new stage on Riley's life. Will there be room for everyone, inside and out?
A penguin! Got it! Yuri's in the house!
School of Magical Animals 2 is the sequel to the most popular German film of 2022, an endearing adventure directed this time by Sven Unterwaldt that combines live action with 3D animation and brings us back to the Winterstein School as it is about to celebrate its 250th anniversary, for which Miss Confield's class rehearses a musical about its founder. Ida takes over the direction of the musical with enthusiasm and proposes Joe for the leading role. However, the casting becomes complicated as Helene snatches the lead role from her, when the real singing talent lies with the shy Annalena. Only through her magical animal, the chameleon Caspar, can Annalena overcome his fears. But then, Joe's magical animal, the cheeky penguin Yuri, throws the trio into chaos as they all must solve the riddle of mysterious holes that have appeared in the school grounds. School of Magical Animals is one of the most successful children's and young adult book series, with more than 7 million copies sold in German-speaking countries.
Not one sound, Yuri.
The dramatic films are led by the Horizon Saga, the first part of which was screened in Cannes, an epic revision of The Conquest of the West, a big 4-film saga about the founding of an ideal city called Horizon that functions as a prototype for the formation of American society. Its cast includes Sienna Miller, Abby Lee, Sam Worthington, and of course Kevin Costner, who not only performs but also directs, this is his 4th film, and produces. For the more than $100 million needed for the first 2 episodes, he mortgaged his house in Santa Barbara, California. He had been trying to make Horizon for more than 30 years. This episode will be released on 28 June, the second episode, which is also finished, on 16 August, but for the episodes 3 and 4, Costner is seeking finance. The BIKERIDERS. After a chance encounter in a Midwestern bar, Kathy finds herself drawn to Benny, the newest member of the Vandals, the biker club led by Johnny. The club is increasingly becoming a dangerous underworld of violence, forcing Benny to choose between Kathy and his loyalty to the club.
I need you.
Written and directed by Jeff Nichols, known for Loving, Take Shelter, and Shotgun Stories, films that have competed at Cannes and the Berlinale, with Jodie Comer, Austin Butler, Tom Hardy, and Michael Shannon.
Everything I do is for the betterment of my girls.
Fresh Kills follows the story of the women of an organized crime family that dominated some of the New York neighborhoods of the 80s. The family has just moved from Brooklyn to Staten Island, yet for Francina and her daughters, Rose and Connie, the shadow of the mafia remains ever present. Written, directed and starring by Jennifer Esposito, this is her debut film, which won several awards in film festivals in the United States prior to its theatrical release.
I'm your father.
Firebrand. Alicia Vikander and an unrecognizable Jude Law star in this period drama centered on the complicated and intense relationship between Catherine Parr, the sixth wife of King Henry VIII in the 16th century England. When the tyrant goes abroad to fight, Catherine is appointed regent and is reunited with her old affections, but when the king returns, sicker and more paranoid than ever, she must fight for her own survival.
You would have to have their head cut off.
I'm sure you would come up with something much more creative.
Firebrand, a British film directed by Brazilian Karim Aïnouz, arrives in US theaters a year after competing for the Palme d'Or at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival, while Motel Destino, the latest film by the same director, did so in this year's edition.
I'm ready. Are you?
Janet Planet. In rural western Massachusetts, 11-year-old Lacey spends the summer of 1991 at home, captivated by her own imagination and the tension of her mother Janet. As the months pass, 3 visitors enter the orbit, all captivated by Janet and her bewitching nature. In her moments of solitude, Lacey inhabits an inner world so extraordinarily detailed that it begins to seep into the outside world, and she slowly begins to fall out of love with her mother. Debut film by Annie Baker, winner of an Obie Award, a MacArthur Genius Grant, and, most notably, the 2014 Pulitzer Prize for Drama for her play The Flick, with Julianne Nicholson, Zoe Ziegler, Elias Koteas, and Will Patton.
It's a complete mystery to me.
Ruthie, I'm so glad to see you.
In Treasure, Ruth, an American journalist, travels to Poland with her father Edek to visit the places of their childhood. But Edek, an Holocaust survivor, resists relieving his trauma and sabotages the trip by creating unintentionally funny situations. It was screened at the Berlinale Special Gala 2024. Treasure is a Franco-German tragicomedy directed by Julia von Heinz, based on the novel Too Many Men by Didi Brett. The film stars Lena Dunham, Stephen Fry, and Zbigniew Samachowski. In Ghostlight, when a construction worker joins a local theater's production of Romeo and Juliet,
Hey, asshole!
Daisy!
Say hi to Mom!
the drama on stage begins to mirror his own life.
Is this a threesome?
Ghostlight is a 2024 American drama film directed by Kelly O'Sullivan and Alex Thompson from a screenplay by O'Sullivan. It stars Kit Kupferer, Tara Mullen, Catherine May Kupferer, among others. It had its world premiere at the Sundance Film Festival 2024.
Break a leg.
This is it. The moment of truth.
Among the dramatic proposals, but with touches of comedy, Kinds of Kindness stands out, the new crazy fable from Yorgos Lanthimos, this time in a 3-part story that follows. A man with no options who tries to take control of his own life, a policeman worried that his wife, who disappeared at sea, has returned and looks like someone else, and a woman determined to find a person with a special power destined to become a prodigious spiritual leader. Kinds of Kindness had its world premiere at the 2024 Cannes Film Festival, where Jesse Plemons won the award for Best Actor. Previously, Lanthimos had won 3 other awards at Cannes, as well as receiving 5 Oscar nominations.
Grandma!
Danny, you sound so strange.
I'm in jail.
Thelma Post is 93 years old, a widow, and receives a call from her grandson who tells her to please call his lawyer, who in turn tells her to leave $10,000 in a mailbox.
How did you think this was real?
Mom, you thought it was real too.
When Thelma realizes she was the victim of a scam, she borrows Ben's electric wheelchair, and together they set off in search of the perpetrator and her money. Along the way, they visit an old friend who suffers from dementia and borrow his gun. Thelma is an American comedy written and directed by newcomer Josh Margolin, starring Jung Squibb, Richard Roundtree in his last film role, Fred Hechinger, premiered at the Sundance Film Festival 2024.
I'm just looking for my grandma, sorry.
And finally, documentaries bring 4 proposals for this month.
You'll see a Pepsi billboard, an Apple Watch face, but you don't know his name necessarily.
Although we may not know it, the iconic work of artist Geoff McFetridge is everywhere. Geoff McFetridge Drawing a Life is an American documentary that is more than just a career review. It is about the choices we make to lead a full life and how we use our most precious resource, time. It is the first feature film by Dan Covert, a director and artist from Brooklyn, New York, who has previously directed short films and videos. Has this documentary already won awards? Yes, it has.
The great beyond. The infinite darkness of the universe.
Ghost, Right Here, Right Now, is an American concert film directed by Tobias Forge and Alex Rose Perry. It features the Swedish rock band Ghost performing at the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California, on the last 2 North American dates of their Imperator 2023 concert tour. The film will also include a narrative story based on a web series produced by the band, which incorporates fictional characters and lore surrounding them. The credits show that the actors who play Papa Nihil and Sister Imperator will appear in the film.
I wanted the Beatles thing to end. I felt as though I couldn't breathe if it went on any longer.
In Revival 69, the concert that rocked the world, the synopsis tells the following. When a young concert promoter launches a festival in 1969 to revive the kings of rock and roll, an unimaginable chain of events manifests itself in the last-minute arrival of John Lennon's and the Plastic Ono Band, triggering Lennon's decision to leave the Beatles.
If John Lennon doesn't show up, I am ruined.
Revival 69, the concert that rocked the world, was directed by Ron Chapman, known for Carlos Varela, Living Havana, and The Forbidden Show.
The day will never have it desired.
Criminal 11 district attorneys! Come on, man, the street performance.
The Relentless Patriot is a documentary film that portrays the story of Scott Lobaydo, an artist known for his depictions of the American flag. With more than 3 decades of dedication to his craft and fervent advocacy for the United States of America, Lobaydo has always tried to capture his point of view on the essence of American values and patriotism. Directed by Christopher Martini, director of numerous short films, best known for the film Trooper from 2010.
And I will fight to the death for this country.